Hi guys, and welcome back to Braid School. Tonight we're doing a step-by-step on these French curl braids using some of the skills and techniques we learned over the past few videos. The braids are sealed with no knots and no glue to help you with easier maintenance over time. If you didn't come prepared to take notes today, no worries, just save this video to your watch later playlist. And before we get started, let's acknowledge the correct answers from last week's pop quiz. If you would like to participate in this week's pop quiz, stay tuned to the end for your opportunity to be featured in next week's video. And if you have questions you would like demoed on the channel, please drop them in the comments section below, or you can ask them anonymously at the link in the description box below as well. I'm Vandy, your instructor for the evening. Let's get started. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Brianna, she is actually in between protective styles with this unit that we got from Amazon. It is such a go-to. I will link it in the description box below. And of course, before we jump into this style, we've got to wash and deep condition. And while she's under the dryer, deep conditioning, we're going to go ahead and prep our hair. So the hair we're using today, we picked up from a vendor on Amazon. They actually have a huge array of colors to choose from. I think it was like 45 or so different colors to choose from. The color that we're using today is the 1B3027, and in the picture it looks a lot more dull. In person it looks a lot more vibrant, but as you can see, the hair is like really silky smooth, so it's definitely not going to hold in a braid. So instead we're going to combine the hair with our regular braiding hair, and I only used one pack of the Expressions braiding hair in 52 inches. I wasn't sure how much hair I was going to need for this, so I used my rule of 3. If you're familiar, we have a whole video that discusses how the rule of 3 works. For the braiding hair, I prepped each piece as if it was one leg of each braid, because I'm going to be using 2 pieces of braiding hair per braid. And then for the French curl braid, I used one leg for each braid, but I split that leg into 2 pieces because I wasn't sure how I was going to insert them. However, I did end up combining 2 pieces to create the 3rd leg. You'll see in just a little bit. Apparently, French curl braids are trending right now, especially amongst the high schoolers, at least the ones in our area that I know of. And this is not the first time she's done this look. She actually did this in a purple and black style in the fall, and we did them much smaller, and she didn't like the takedown process. So this go around, we did them a medium size so that she could take them down a lot easier, because girlfriend is getting older. She's gonna have to start doing these things on her own. Also for this video, we're gonna be doing knotless, but you're not limited to that. You can do regular box braids for this. Now, because her hair is thick, I'm gonna start her knotless braid off by braiding her natural hair down once or twice. Then I'm going to insert my first piece of braiding hair, rotate, my second piece of braiding hair, rotate, and now I'm going to add my 3rd leg, which is the French curl hair that I combined into one, and that's my 3rd leg. I shouldn't have to add any more hair after this point. Now, of course, everybody's hair is going to be different. I know her density. You may need to add more or less, so that's why it's important that you prep similar to how I showed you in the beginning. The smaller you prep, the easier it is for you to adjust. Now all that's left to do is to continue braiding. We're going to be doing kind of a pick and drop style because 1, we wanted most of the French curl to be present at the ends, and 2, we wanted a layered look. So I'm going to be stopping about 1 inch past her natural hair length, and you notice that I'm switching up my braiding technique. I started with overhand, now I'm going with underhand so that I can get her ends tucked in nice and neatly. To maintain the layered effect, I'm checking the length on each row to make sure they all match and that each row is about 1/2 inch shorter than the last one. Now time to seal the ends using my wrap and tap method. There's no glue or knots associated with this. This is also the primary reason why it's important to use synthetic braiding hair for this technique, because you need the synthetic braiding hair to seal the ends. Once I get to my stopping point, I'm going to grab a piece of the synthetic braiding hair and I'm going to wrap it a couple of times around the stopping point. Then I'm going to grab my pencil flat iron. I need to make sure that it is at least 450 degrees. This particular one goes up to 460. And then I'm just going to tap it and melt it until it is completely sealed, until the longest piece is burnt off. You want to make sure that you're tapping, because if you hold it on there too long, you could burn through the braid. So this may take some practice before you start braiding. Once that excess piece falls off, I'm just gonna rub it in my fingers to like make it nice and cool, and it's gonna set. And now all that's left to do is to trim off the excess and continue braiding the rest of the head. Now this sealing method is optional. Most people will put knots in the ends to keep it from unraveling. However, I feel like it is very difficult to brush through the hair for maintenance when you have knots or glue knots in the hair. So I prefer this method over anything else, especially when the hair is very silky. If y'all remember, I did some French curl braids way back last year. I ended up having to rubber band the hair because the hair is just so silky, it doesn't hold a knot very well. So this is a great alternative. Also, when you order the French curl hair, I'm not sure if it comes in 3 packs, but we only use 3 packs of the French curl hair because we used it in combination with the braiding hair. Like I said, we've used this hair before, and the last time she wore it like this, I used the same methods. It was so easy for her to maintain, and it barely got tangled or knotted or anything like that because we were able to maintain it and brush it out daily. To sleep at night, I highly recommend putting it in 2 big braids, or putting it up in a pineapple and making sure you tie up everything in your bonnet. It's just like any other goddess braid style. You want to make sure that those curls don't get tangled up on each other. All right, so that completes this week's tutorial. Let's jump right into today's pop quiz. In the beginning of the video, we discussed all the different color options that this vendor on Amazon offered for the French curl braids. What 3 colors are in the ombre selection that we demoed in today's video? Drop your answers in the comment section below and we will feature you in next week's video. As always, if you learned something, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. It helps the channel out so much. And make sure you tell a friend. I know you know somebody who might be interested in this. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more content like this each and every week. And if you have any questions that you would like demoed on the channel, make sure you drop them in the comments below, or you can ask them anonymously through the link provided in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.